Hi everybody and welcome to our series on jBase jRemote tools. This last video on the series shows how to develop a .NET application from entity we have generated from JDconnect. First, let's take a look at the class customer generated. Customer class derived from class jMVS entity. We can find for each attribute a property. For attributes in groups, we have a nested class for each group, and properties are declared into these nested classes. For pet attributes, we see another nested class into address group, so we have two levels of nested class for subvalues. Now, for data, pets are defined as a collection of pet group class. jMVS list entity is an observable collection with extension for editing. A list collection view is a collection based on jMVS list entity for viewing collection into visual components like grid. It offers cursor functionalities to know which entity is currently selected. Okay, now let's take a look at our window. This is an WPF application with grids and some buttons to read and save data. The first grid is binding to a collection of customers. Property customers is declared in main windows and data context is set to itself. Each column has a binding to a customer property like first name, last name, etc. We have also another grid whose item source is the selected item that group address group in first grid. The selected item is a customer and grid is binding an address group of this customer. The last grid is a pet grid, and in the same way, this grid is binded to the other grid and the selected item of this grid. Okay, it's time to run our application. When we click on read button, we call a server and we ask to read records from server, and we get a collection of customers. Okay, so let's read the records. We get 10 customers. For each customers we can see addresses, different addresses. The read records is the first way to fetch data from jBase. You can get this data without coding anything. The second way to get data from jBase is to call a subroutine with some parameters. Here we ask a server to call a subroutine named customers. jMVS.bp will call the subroutine whose name is GUI.subroutinename. Subroutine name is the name of the subroutine passed as parameters. What we do in GUI customers is that we process the command list customers. We read all customers and we return into item data each customer. Another interesting capability is to print data that we can catch into clients. Now we can read records from subroutine and we have the same result, and we have also the result of the print statement. This is an interesting functionality to debug an application. We can obviously change and save data into database with just one command, or call a subroutine to process data.